Welcome everybody to Personal FX, the place to see some wonderful collectibles. And we've got quite a show in store. John, I'm feeling spring cleaning in the air.
Oh, well, then this is the show for you. JD is finishing out his week in Pennsylvania in Kempton with our big tag sale. JD, what's going on out there?
That's right, John. Today's the day. It's finally arrived, the spring cleaning sale. Look at all these people. They've come out. They've already been looking at some items, and some people have come some distance. Where have you traveled from?
Hey, John, I've come all the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan for the sale.
Grand Rapids, Michigan. John, she didn't come to see her son, who lives in the area. She came for the sale. She's a buyer. We have a whole lot more, and it's all coming up next on Personal FX.
Hey, welcome to today's Personal FX, the collectible show. We have got a great show for you. Not only do we have a tag sale out in Kempton, but of course we have wonderful people who have come by here in the apartment to have their items appraised and meet Norma Jean. Hi, how you doing?
Great, John.
Where are you from?
North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, that's a great place. That's great.
Yeah.
What are you going to have appraised today?
This little tray here.
Now, what do you know about that tray?
Not a whole lot. That's why I brought it here.
All right. Smart woman. All right. If you'd like to be a guest in our FX apartment and have something appraised, here's what you do. You give us a call at that Sprint-sponsored 1-800-FX-FX-FX1 number, and we will set it up. Let's go out to Kempton, Pennsylvania, where JD is working real hard at that tag sale.
John,
on the
I already found a
Treadmaster.
piece I should be buying, actually. All right, we're here. It's taken 700 tags, 800 hangers, and a lot of hard work from Susie Anderson here, and of course our hostess, Ann Fenstermacher. Now, what did it take to get this thing together, Susie?
A lot of organization, a lot of work on Ann's part, and a lot of Windex.
Now, right, a lot of Windex. Now, Ann, has Susie really helped with this whole process?
Yes, absolutely. I don't think I could have done it without her.
Okay, now you have a target of money that you want to make today. How much money?
I'd like to make about $1,000.
Very good. Okay, what we'll do, John, is we'll keep a running tab and see how she's doing and see if Ann makes her $1,000.
Well, if she doesn't, you can just make up the difference yourself, JD.
Yeah, by buying the Stairmaster.
Okay. Check in with you later. Thanks, buddy.
All right.
Okay, let's get into some appraisals. Claire, you have Sue?
I certainly do. Sue, welcome to the program. Meet Pat Dudley and Alan Shrem, two of our ace appraisers. And if you were in Kempton, Pennsylvania, are you the kind of person who would go to a tag sale or yard
Yes,
sale?
I am. Yes, I am.
Do a lot of collecting?
I like to collect dolls.
And you brought one with you today.
I did.
Where'd you get your Cabbage Patch?
I got it in Torrington, Connecticut.
Mm-hmm.
And it is, the name of it is Robinson Ellery. And it is, birth certificate is dated October 1st. And it's from 1985.
And this was a huge craze in 1984, in the beginning of 85.
What led to that craze?
You know, sometimes you never know with toys. Same thing would happen with Tickle Me Elmo this year. Something happens on television, might promote a toy, boom, the toy sells out. There wasn't enough manufacture because there was no forethought into the fact that they would be so hot and such a big collectible. That's what happened with Cabbage Patch Kids. But today's market is not as strong as it was back then. The demand isn't as high. And this is in 1985, and that was the second year that he put them out.
Right.
And you can always tell the years by pulling down the diaper in the back a little bit, and on that little tushy, excuse me, I don't know if I can say that on the air, but it says Xavier Roberts, and it'll have the year on the bottom. If it doesn't have the year on the bottom, that means that it was a 1984 piece, and that's the first years that they came out.
Yeah, you're meaning that it was stenciled as opposed to handwritten signature, right. I see a lot of these come up in the area in which I live, which isn't terribly far from the Coleco factory. So when you see these come up at a general auction, they tend to go for a lot less rather than the niche market for just doll collectibles or a doll auction.
At its height, what was it going for and what is it worth today?
Well, basically, its height is today. Back then, there wasn't the market that there is today. But I'd probably say in the condition it's in, probably about $75. The box has a little bit of damage to it. It's missing some stuff inside, it looks to me.
What do you think?
I would say 75 to 100.
75 to 100. Okay. In that price range, would you be interested in putting it up for sale?
No, not right now.
Okay, you're a true collector. You're going to hold on to it. Okay. Thank you so much for being with us.
Thank you.
And our next guest is Sharon. Hi, Sharon. Welcome.
Hello.
Where are you visiting from?
Myrtle Beach, South Carolina.
Oh, you're part of the North Myrtle Beach and Myrtle Beach contingent?
North Myrtle Beach.
You enjoying your stay in New York?
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. And tell us what you brought.
This was my grandmother's That's all I know about it. I mean, it's very old. I don't know.
Does it have some special memories?
Yeah. I'm very sentimental.
It's a pressed glass goblet, a rather large pressed glass goblet, and it's made in a mold, a pressed glass mold. It's a 4-part mold, and pressed glass became popular in the 1820s when there was an actually pressed glass machine that started to make this an imitation of cut glass.
Originally, pressed glass started probably in like the 1840s or 1850s is when they started actually making molds, where I think actually Boston Sandwich glass about that time started making lamps. But this one here is a bit later. You can usually see the seams on them, which I usually tell you is pressed glass, which sometimes doesn't translate into a lot of money when you see a piece of pressed.
The best thing about this, I think, is probably holds about an entire bottle of wine. It's so large.
You don't need to keep refilling your glass, which is nice with this.
I think also the best part is the lovely memories that it has. But you're saying this dates back to
probably the early 20th century.
Early 20th century.
And I would probably tell you that sometimes the wine that you would put in might be a little bit more expensive than the glass might be itself.
The glass would go for how much?
I would probably say maybe in the $15 to $20 range at a high.
25.
It looks like it would be worth more than that.
Yeah, but it's a beautiful piece, and you can't put $1 on the memories,
Yes.
and that's
And I know it's worth a lot to you. Are you planning to hold on to it, or?
I'm going to hold on to
You're
it.
going to hold on to it. Thank you so much. We have a great time in New York with your friends while you're here. And Norma Jean is next. Part of the contingent of, how did you describe it to me, the 4 Musketeers who came to New York?
Oh, you were not supposed to say that.
To have a good time in the city.
Yes.
Now, you don't really know anything about the tray?
No, it was a gift, and I do know when things have markings on them, there's a good chance they're worth something. So I just wanted to, actually just want to come on television.
It's a good reason. At least one person has been honest in the 3 years that we've been on the air. But this is actually has like a little bit of a Christmas theme to it. You have the holly there, and it is right. You do want to take a look at the back and catch the mark. And if you see, it has sort of like one mark imprinted over another. It has Germany, and then you see the eagle with the CT,
And what does
which
that
is the Teilch company, or Teilch. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly, which is actually a part of Huttenruther company.
Right,
which I
of
think,
the whole group.
Of the whole group. But you can sometimes date it by this mark, and this mark I think was around the 1870s or 1880s till about 1930s, early 1930s. Okay. So that's when you'd probably date this piece. I might put it in maybe the turn of the century in that time period when this one was made.
I would tend to think that Ellen is right. It's also porcelain. This particular company made porcelain, and this is a transfer design. The holly is a transfer design. It could be a dresser tray. It could simply be a small serving tray. It's really quite
It could
charming.
have been like a nice pastry tray or something like that.
And
for
in
a
what
table.
price range are we talking?
I'd probably say in about the 150 range, because this stuff is pretty much in demand today. It still has a lot of its coloring, and the transfer is still pretty nice on it. So
Yeah, 125 to 150, I would place a value.
In that particular price range, would you like to put it up for sale?
Sure.
Going to put it up for sale?
Yeah,
Okay. Very good. Thank you so much for being with us today. And let's toss this over to John. They're having a good time, this group from Myrtle Beach.
Yeah, 125, 150, and she got on television. It's been a good day so far. Let me give you that number just in case you want to place a bid on anything that is up for sale on today's show, whether it be here in the apartment or out in Kempton. That number is 212-802-0082. Use that number to place any bid on anything, because you never know when you find something that you just really got to buy, like, say, oh, I don't know, maybe a corn shucker. Right, J.D.?
A corn husker, right? It's a corn husker. There's a lot of interesting items here, but every sale has a standout. And this is a corn...
Sheller.
Sheller. We were both wrong. A corn sheller. We're back here with our hostess, Ann Fenstermacher. She's an Irish girl in the middle of Pennsylvania Dutch country, John. And, of course, Susie Anderson. Susie, tell us about this.
Turn of the century, dug it out of the barn right here.
Really?
And it's in working order. The only thing we're missing is a machine-made wooden handle, which anybody can adapt to it. Otherwise, it's a great primitive from this area.
And you put an appraisal on it, or there's a price tag of $125. Does that sound fair? Or is that $150? 150.
And a reasonable offer, we'll take it.
Okay, and for those of you at home watching the show, you can place bids on this. So you want to sell this, obviously.
Absolutely.
She has a price tag on it. We're going to be back with more of our incredible spring cleaning sale from Kempton, PA, and more personal FX when we come back. we're out here in the country in Kempton, PA. It's our big personal FX spring cleaning sale. This is our hostess, Ann Fenstermacher, and Susie Anderson, who has come out to help her out a little bit. And all of this stuff came from your attic, right?
I would say most of it, yeah.
Most of it. So it's nice to see it all out here and no longer in your attic.
It will never go back.
Now, we saw the corn peeler, the corn sheller earlier, but there's some other fairly interesting items that we want to take a look at. Let's look at this. Tell us about this, Susie.
Oh, we've got a Bradley and Hubbard kerosene lamp that has been electrified properly, so it didn't hurt it. Value priced at 20 bucks.
Wow, what could you get for this in a major city?
With the chimney and with the shade, I could get about 125 to 150. This way, I could get 60 in my shop.
Wow, okay, $20, good prices. Look at this vase down here. Now tell us about this vase.
Oh, that's a cutie. That's a hand mold blown Victorian vase, probably Stevens and Williams, and we've got this priced at $20. Value on this is $50 to $75.
Okay, and look back here. There's an interesting scale. What's the story on this scale, Ann?
Used in any store.
Yeah, where did you get it?
We dug that also out of the barn.
Really? Great. Well, it's a good find. You have a price of $38 on it. Tell us about this, Susie.
Well, in New York, you'd expect to see a tag for about $125 on this, and it includes the 5 weights you see down here.
And that's rare to find it with the weights.
With the weights. That's hard. So that's a good buy.
$38.
Great buy.
And the people at home can bid on all of these items. Give us a call at 212-802-0082. Ann, is it weird to have your stuff out here and have people walking around looking at it and going, no?
Well, you know, I stuck it out here because I didn't want it anymore. So if anybody else can use them, I'll be really happy about that.
So there's no emotional attachment?
No,
no.
not anymore.
She wants to make her $1,000, John and Claire.
Hey,
so we're going to throw it back to you guys.
JD, wait. What about the computer? Tell me about that computer that I see in the background there.
$65.
65?
What's the deal with the computer, Ann?
I got a new computer, so I didn't need it anymore, and everything that you see right here is included with it.
Wow, and how old is it?
Probably 8 to 10 years.
8 to 10 years. $65.
Prices like these, they just won't last, JD. And
they're priced to sell, John. Priced to sell.
And you've done a really nice job, you and Susie, setting this whole thing up. It looks terrific. So we'll check in with the 3 of you later on. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, and once again, that number to call to place bids on anything that you see, 212-802-0082. And Michael has joined us here in the apartment. How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Nice to meet you. What do you got here?
A Body L mixer truck.
Oh, this is great. Where'd you get this?
Got it from my friend.
These are nice. These are collectible.
These are really nice. What is the only thing that takes away a little bit from the piece is actually the condition is a little bit rough. And when it comes to these type of trucks, the intrinsic value is in the ones that really lasted throughout the years in top condition. But people nowadays are restoring them. They're filing them down.
Well, I was going to ask you that. I mean, what if Michael decided to paint this up? Would that help out?
It really wouldn't.
Okay.
No, I think Pat would agree with me on that.
Not at all.
Certain collectibles, yes. It all depends on what type of collectible it is. It doesn't really apply to all things. And I'll especially say that things like toys, it would definitely be frowned upon.
Okay.
To do something like that.
Unless it were perhaps a pre-World War II and a really
hard to find
piece, one that
possibly,
professional restoration is acceptable in.
Absolutely. And this piece is probably outdated late 40s, early 50s. You could tell the rubber tires on it. As they, came up with cheaper plastics and things like that, and they were able to manufacture with plastic at a cheap price, that's when you know the stuff is late 50s, early 60s. So what they used to manufacture a piece will sometimes give away the age of it.
I see.
Because rubber was cheap then, plastic was very expensive.
And this is a little bit hefty for a pressed steel toy.
Definitely. I mean, like Tonka made similar trucks too, Marks. It was a very, very, very big business back in the 50s, these type of trucks. But in this shape and stuff, I'd probably only say about maybe $35 to $50.
I'll defer to Alan on
Okay. What do you think? Do you want to see if anybody wants to buy it, or do you want to keep it?
Sure. Anyone wants to buy it?
All right. We'll take some offers. We'll let you know. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate that. Cool. All right. Up next is Anna. Hi, Anna. How are you?
Hi.
Now, where are you from?
I'm fine. I'm from Evansburg, Pennsylvania.
Welcome. Glad
Near
you're here.
Johnstown.
That's great.
Nice to be here.
Now, tell us what you have here.
I have a wine bottle I found in my grandmother's home on the island of Samos, part of Greece. I brought it back in 1965, and there's some French writing on it. And I had one of the local teachers in our school district translate it for me. And around this rim here, it says, "Evil be to him who evil thinks."
Ooh. All right.
which is part of the cipher or the crest of the Georgian kings in England from about the very, very early 18th century and has continued on through all the Georgian monarchs. This is marked on the boot, on the bottom or the sole, the glassworks of Mouleterre, and it's Déposé, which is registered Lyon, France. I am not familiar with this particular glassworks. This is, again, a blown in the mold piece. There is one, yes,
C-mark,
there's
absolutely.
only one C-mark, which means there were only 2 pieces to the mold, makes it fairly early. Also, the C-mark only goes up to here, which helps date it, which will date it to the late 19th century. I think it was probably a brandy bottle.
Oh, all right.
Perhaps for import to Great Britain.
So what do you think in terms of value?
Well, decanters are now beginning to rise a little bit, so where they were a few years ago a little light, there's a lot more interest in the market today. And maybe this in this shape itself probably sell for about $125, I would say.
I'm going to place the value a little bit higher, between $2 and $225, simply because it's a highly figural piece and collectible in terms of both being a decanter and a shoe.
Do you want to take some bids? You want to hold
I'll
on to?
take some bids, yes.
Cinderella herself might be watching.
That's right.
Thank you very much for bringing that by.
Thank you.
We'll see what happens. All right, Bernadine is up next. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you?
Hey, you got your hands full there. Come
Yeah.
on in. Where are you from?
I'm from Naugatuck.
Now tell us what you brought here.
Bought 2 dolls. My dad had them in his attic. He had purchased them at a tag sale about a few years ago.
All right.
And he had given them to me.
Well, first of all, what you want to look at, especially when you look at doll to determine the age, they use different materials again to make the bodies, the heads, the faces. And this here looks like a vinyl face, which is very commonplace of the like 50s, 60s. That's when these dolls were very popular. It does what I find unusual to have this some sort of a latex type of a body, which actually feels like, can't come to mind what exactly it feels like, but it has a little bit of give to it.
Right.
And it's like the stretchy men that you used to get, like Stretch Armstrong. It has that kind of feel
That's right, yeah.
on the body like that, which is unusual, and I find a little bit interesting. And not very common to find dolls with these type of bodies.
Yeah, it has rooted Dynel hair, which is also going to help us date the dolls. And there is a mark on the back of this one, A-1, which A-E or 1, which I am not familiar with at all.
But a lot of times they would make the heads in one place and the bodies in another,
correct.
and companies would order heads from other companies and do that. These dolls, this one has nice makeup to it. You always want to look at the makeup, the lipstick, see how good it is. This one here is a little bit weaker condition than this one, in my opinion, but probably the two would sell in about the $100 range.
I would agree with Alan on this. They do have sleep eyes also.
Is that per or?
No, for the two.
For the
For the
two.
two,
For the
okay.
two.
What do you think? Do you want to take some bids? Do you want to hold on to them?
Sure, I'll take some bids.
See what happens. Thank you for
Okay,
bringing those
thank
by. I
you.
appreciate that. You can stay where you are if you want to, because right now we're going out to Kempton, Pennsylvania, checking in with JD at the spring cleaning tag sale. JD?
Hey, John, spring cleaning, we have Ann's Attic essentially down here. And if you're a sportsman, look at this. A lot of really cool hunting and fishing items, some clothing. We have some waders. And you know how sometimes you see something, John, at a sale and it has your name on it?
Yeah.
This one literally has our name right on it. We'll be back with more Personal FX and our big spring cleaning sale from Kempton, PA.
Is this right? Today's FX Collector Speak Word of the Day is right. And that is a term used by antique and collectibles dealers that means authentic and genuine. And of course, if it's fake or restored, then it would be wrong.
Okay. Right, John. Right,
Thank you.
John.
Is that right? That's right. Yeah,
Let's
that's
just go
right.
along with that one. Welcome back to Personal FX. We have a whole bunch of items up for sale in the apartment, as well as on location in Kempton, Pennsylvania, the day of our big spring cleaning sale, which is exciting.
Yeah, it is.
You know,
It's a lot of fun.
we talked about it all week, and now it's underway. First of all, let's tell you about the porcelain tray from the turn of the century. It is made in Germany. It's transfer. It's the Holly design, and it is in demand, and the price range is $125 to $150. Out in Kempton, Pennsylvania, we saw a whole bunch of interesting items, and one that I think is a real conversation piece would be the corn husker.
That's right.
Don't you think?
Corn sheller, corn
Husker
shucker?
sheller?
Yeah,
Yes.
that's it.
From the turn of the century, corn sheller, with a price tag on it of about $150. And then we have the Bradley and Hubbard kerosene lamp, and it is appropriately wired, $20 in the condition that it is in.
That's the one over there on the right, isn't it?
It
That one?
certainly is,
Yeah,
the one on the right, okay? And in the center is the Victorian vase, which is lovely. These items are reasonably priced. This one is priced at $20. And then we have the scale, which is also a lovely item. It comes with weights and priced at only $38.
Pretty good. And here in the apartment, we have some items that are taking bids. We have the Buddy L truck. This is from the 1950s. The condition isn't the greatest, but still, these things are really collectible, and this was appraised at $35 to $50. We have the glass decanter. It's a figural. It's English, King's inscription in it. Also probably used for brandy, and that was appraised at $125 to $225 on that item. And last but not least, we have a pair of dolls here, and these are vinyl faces, rooted hair with sleepy eyes for both of them. See this one here?
They're lovely.
Yeah, and so you're looking at about $100 for both. Right there.
Right
and they
there.
kind of have, as Alan said, the Stretch Armstrong feel to them. So.
Right, John?
The Armstrong pair.
So once again, if you'd like to bid on any of the items in the apartment or at our spring cleaning sale in Kempton, Pennsylvania, call us at 212-802-0082. What a good time they're having out there in Pennsylvania.
Let's go right now. Let's go check in with them. JD, what are you up to?
Well, John and Claire, we're going to show you that Ann Fenstermacher, our host today, lucked out because look at this. This is a fruit stand. Did I just drop something? This is a fruit stand, and so she was lucky enough to have a friend who owned this who allowed her to have her sale here. But no matter where you're having your sale, you have to have one area that's a showcase area. And really, with Ann, the most valuable things in this entire collection are your games, right?
Yeah, who would ever have thought?
Yeah.
But Susie Anderson came out, she saw the games, and you priced these, essentially you looked at the book and then cut them in half, right?
I had to go to look some of these up because I didn't, you know, any appraiser that says they know it all by the top of their head, they're nuts. I had to look these up. I even had some surprises.
Which one?
Haunted Mansion game, the Walt Disney
Uh-huh.
books, $125.
Wow.
I was very surprised, and we've cut them to half of book price or less, depending on the condition of the boxes.
Condition.
That's right.
I see some of them, that Advanced Boardwalk is still in the original
Never
shrink
opened.
wrap. So that's pretty good. Any other treasures here? Any other games that are just incredible?
Haunted Mansion's the best. Planet of the Apes that's a good one.
Hey, Susie?
Yeah.
I like how you've displayed you have Let's Make a Deal right next to the Price is Right. I think that's I see what you're doing there. There they are.
Door number 3, John.
That's right.
So when you're having a spring cleaning or a tag sale type of thing, items like this, you have to really pay attention to protect them from the elements.
Right. We brought them inside just in case of rain. We did have some wind this morning. We didn't want them damaged, so these are perfectly safe in here. We didn't tag them, so we didn't damage the boxes. We have a poster there with the prices listed and a duplicate of the cash.
And even if it's a nice, beautiful, sunny day, you don't want these out in the direct sun.
No, because they could fade in direct sunlight. So you do want to like put them under on umbrella or a tarp or something. Don't want to damage them.
Now, Ann, did you play with all of these games?
Between my husband, myself, and my
your kids?
Yeah, we've all played with them.
That's great. And look at this, John. This is the way that they put the prices out here, as Susie had said before.
We went with the maker and then listed the games alphabetically so they were easy to find for people.
Because you don't want to put stickers on these,
No,
right?
no, because you would hurt them. And it's an easy way to categorize anything that you're trying to sell, you know, trying to showcase in a sale, to do it this way.
Now, Ann, have you learned a lot going through this process with Susie for the next time your attic gets full?
Yes, I never would have known that the games were, you know, collectibles or valuable or anything. I was, you know, just going to stick them out in a pile and just try to get rid of them.
In your mind, what did you think was like your best piece? What did you think was going to be red hot?
Probably the housewares, I think.
But ladies and gentlemen, it's the board game. So John and Claire, that's just a look at thanks to Susie and Ann to let us know what you need to do when you have pieces like this. You don't want them in the direct sun, and you obviously don't want them out in the rain.
Hey, JD, can I put you on the run for a second? I saw something back there I wanted to ask you about.
Okay, what?
Behind you, it's the quilt hanging up. No, the other way. Look the other way behind. Yeah.
Come on back over here. Tell me about this quilt. Do you know anything about it, Susie?
That's a Pennsylvania quilt, Star of Bethlehem. It dates about 1930, needs a little restoration and needs a bath. We've got it tagged at $30.
Wow.
30
Now,
bucks.
if this was in mint condition, or even after a little restoration and a bath, as you say,
If we could get
what would
that
it be
red
worth?
restored and a bath, it's about a $300 quilt.
Wow.
Boy, that's
Want it,
something.
John? I'll pick it up for you.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we'll see if anybody wants to place a bid. Thank you all very much. We'll check in with you later on.
Okay.
That's something, that quilt. Huh?
Great prices out there. I
Yeah.
like that. But what an incentive for other people to start your spring cleaning sale.
That's right. I think it's a chance for people to get together, too,
Yeah.
which is always nice. Stay with us, folks. We have more appraisals coming your way and more from our spring cleaning tag sale in Kempton, Pennsylvania when Personal FX returns. Personal FX on the road every single solitary day. The week of May 19th will be in Indianapolis, Indiana. Of course, that week is all booked up. But the week of May 26th will be in Charleston, South Carolina. And the week of June 2nd will be in Lincoln, Nebraska. If you're interested in being a part of any of those shows, give us a call at that Sprint-sponsored 1-800-FX-FX-FX1 number, and we will set it up. All right, let's get back into some more appraisals. Claire, what's going on in here?
Well, Mike is visiting from Langhorne, Pennsylvania, came all the way to have an item appraised. So why not go ahead and tell us about your picture?
Well, it's a picture I got from my grandmother. I think she purchased it sometime in the 20s. That's when she moved into this area. And that's about all I can tell you on it.
There's nobody back
That's
there.
something. That is like thread or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it's the pictorial needlework picture, and it's very, very interesting. The picture was first...
Let's hold that up.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Okay, there we go. The picture was first drawn, and then the faces and the shading were done in watercolor, and then it was basically the needlework was done over that. It's done on silk, which is why we have the tattering here.
But it needs a bit of repair to it. I just want to point that out.
And we have a lot of wool and some silk needlework. There's a lot of French knotting up here in the branches of the trees, and it's a very, very classical picture with the classical device of the column and the drapery in the background.
Was this a common way of doing pictures at that time?
It was not unusual, yes. This one is probably English, and probably, I would think, from the first half of the 19th century. This can be stabilized. There can be a backing put on it, but it is quite fragile the way it is.
Sometimes
but
they
very
linen
lovely.
back them and stuff like that because linen gives a little bit also.
How much would you appraise it at?
This also is, it appears to be in quite an early frame. I'm not sure it's original.
I'd say the whole package about $1,000. I would say in that range.
I would think Alan's probably right. Maybe $1,000, $1,200. It would be worth certainly considerably more with the conservation, not restoration, of the silk.
And how much might it cost your store?
That I'm not really sure. Maybe in the neighborhood of $300. It's
I would
hard to
definitely
tell
say
until you get it
And
out.
then $300 is
gonna say ballpark.
right on the money for definitely to repair this. It's not a huge repair job that has to be done.
Mike, what do you think? Do you want to put it up for sale?
Well,
or
I
you
like
take it
to
home?
see what people are interested in.
Okay, we'll let you know.
Try it.
Thanks for visiting us today.
Okay, thank you.
And our number to call is 212-802-0082 for this or any of the items up for sale at our tax sale in Kempton, Pennsylvania.
And Darlene is joining us. Hi, Darlene. How are you?
Fine, how are you?
Good. Nice to meet you. Thanks for coming in today.
Same here. It's
Now, what did
lovely
you
to be
do?
here.
Oh, we're glad you're here. Now, tell us what you brought.
They're glasses that I purchased. They're hand-blown, hand-cut crystal from a very good friend of mine many, many years ago. I'd say in the late 70s, early 80s. And I was just curious. I don't know really that much about them. I was just curious to know, you know,
I am too.
what they are, you know.
Yeah, what they're worth, etc. These are
Yeah.
nice, aren't they, Claire? Yeah. What do you two think?
Let's make a toast.
Oh,
Actually, these are a commercially made piece. If you take a look on the label on the bottom, you'll see West Germany. So that right from there, we could date it as it's definitely a post-war piece, probably 50s, 60s. These wares were even we're bringing in a lot of them into this country, even into the 70s and 80s. It was just a very, very popular type of piece and definitely made for the commercial market.
What exactly are these?
They are
Cordial glasses.
Well, this is a small wine glass, like a sherry. These are cordial and those are shots.
Okay.
So we have the whole line.
We can get pretty,
Right. And these are basically a traditional Bohemian glass design. These are red flashed or stained. The color does not go all the way through.
Well, what do you think then in terms of value?
They,
okay, you can go first.
they're modern, and so that they don't fall into the antique Bohemian glass category. I would probably...
Collectible.
Yes, they are
You know,
collectible.
So the value is...
You're probably talking 30 15 and maybe another $35.
So somewhere around 100 and a quarter.
Pretty much.
I place 100,
100 and a quarter.
Okay, all right. Do you want to take some bids, Gillian? Do you want to hold on to
Well, I could take some bids and see.
Can always say no.
Yeah,
That's right. We'll take some bids and we'll let you know.
Okay.
Thank you very much for bringing us by.
They're
Very
lovely,
nice.
thank you.
That's right.
And Jeannie is our next guest. And let's see what she brought. Hi, Jeannie.
Hi.
Good to have you with us. And tell us more about what you brought.
Well, it's a chocolate set that I got from a friend about 20 years ago, and she got it during the war from an auction.
Is this something you've used over the years?
No, just had it in the window.
Actually, this could be a good cross collectible with the other set. After you drink all the cordials, then you can drink coffee and your own set.
Pretty good.
What is the marking?
These are marked white block Bavaria. I'm not familiar with the white block mark, but the Bavaria was a center for the manufacture of porcelain and pottery, particularly in the late 19th century into the early 20th century.
And many companies made pieces. You'll see Rosenthal.
Exactly.
I even think some of the Husenruther stuff was even made in Bavaria, too.
Yeah, and so, right.
And so.
Right. This has a lusterware glaze, which was very popular from the turn of the century into the 20s and into the 30s. I'm thinking this is a little bit toward the latter end of that.
Were chocolate sets more popular at different times?
Oh, they were much more popular in the Victorian period than certainly they are today.
But this piece has nice colors to it. It's vibrant, and it catches the eye, and that's something that also makes it sell.
Yeah.
So, John, what do you think it's worth?
125, 175. How'd I
Make
do?
him a present next week?
How'd I do? What's it worth?
I would say more in the 75 to
100. Yeah, I'd say $75 to $100. You're not too far off. Not too far off. Sold to John Bell.
I tried. Do you think this is going to go up for sale, or are you going to keep it?
Sure.
Yeah? Okay, thank you
Great.
so much for visiting with us. You know, out in Kempton, Pennsylvania, there's some really good buys out there.
There are some really good buys.
Reasonably priced?
Yeah, let's go
Let's
see
toss
some.
us back, to JD and find out more about great buys.
Hey, John and Claire, the tables are emptying out. The sale's been going on about 45 minutes. They've sold about $300 worth of stuff. And this is day one of a 3-day sale, so that's good.
Yes.
That's good.
Fabulous.
We have some people who have made some interesting purchases. This is Art. Art, now tell me what you have here.
Well, I have a Beatles charcoal drawing here done by a girl named Sherry Smith, and my son's a Beatle collector, and we're buying this for his birthday, and I think it's a really good buy.
$30 you got for this, Susie. Is this good? Because it's documented, which is good.
It is. It was in an art show. The artist refused to sell it before, and now it's up for sale. I think it's a nice buy for that.
And it's really John Lennon throughout the year.
Right, his different ages.
So that's a good buy. That's a good piece for an original piece of art.
But I like his bicycle pump. He's a
tell us about this.
This is a brass tire pump, probably, I would say, turn of the century. And the nice part about it is it is marked. It was made by M.B. Holstein of Richland, Pennsylvania, and it's a patented piece. And I think it's going to clean up real nice, and it'll be a real nice collectible.
And you got it for $10. That's not bad. That's good. That's a good deal.
That's right, and they dug that out of the barn here.
Well, congratulations, Art.
Thank you very much.
And thanks you.
Thank you.
Let's go back inside. We have some more people that we want to talk to back here. Here's Jane. Now, Jane collects puzzles. Did you find any here, Jane?
Yes, I did. Found several of them, but this is the one that I really wanted.
Which one's that?
It's Mount Rushmore. I only collect puzzles of places where I've visited.
Oh, that's great. How many puzzles do you have?
Well, right now the closet holds 30, and I have several cartons.
Wow. So how much
elsewhere.
did you pay for this?
$1.
Oh, that's good. That's a good deal.
I thought so. And if it doesn't have all the pieces, or if I'm not happy with it, I can have a yard sale.
And sell an incomplete puzzle, Jane.
Well, nobody intends to do that.
That's
you don't
right,
have time to put 30 puzzles together before you have a yard sale.
That's right. And you have 1,000 pieces, so...
Yes, I have time to work on this one.
So is that what you look for first? You look for puzzles?
Yeah, because I know that I'm going to do them, and I may pass them on, or I may collect them, and be happy either way.
Wow, that's great. Take another look at this. $1. Not bad at all. Good deal, right, Susie, for a 1,000-piece puzzle?
It's great. You can't go wrong for $1. You know that.
All right, let's work our way back through here. We have a lot of books over here, all sorts of different items. Now your name is?
Cheryl.
Cheryl. Now what have you found?
Christmas ornaments.
Christmas
Yeah.
ornaments.
Ah.
Tell us about what these are. How much you pay for them?
$1 a piece.
That's great.
That's a bargain. That is a bargain. I couldn't do it.
Is that what you collect? Is that what you look for?
One of the many things.
Wow.
Yeah.
And those are common things at these things, right, Susie? Handcrafted ornaments and items like that?
Would you like to meet the maker of them? It's right here.
Ah. So you made these?
Yeah, I do. I sell them here in the stand in November.
Well, that's great. Well, you got your Christmas ornaments, a good deal. There are lots of good deals happening here. It's our Personal FX. Actually, it's Ann's Personal FX spring cleaning sale from Kempton, Pennsylvania. We'll be back with more right after this.
It's Super Collectors this Sunday, 7 a.m. on the East and West Coast, 6 a.m. Central. And we'll do it again at 3:30 East and West Coast, 2:30 Central. And all the Super Collections that you're going to see on Sunday have something to do with green.
Mm-hmm. And John, I think there's a lot of green that's being exchanged out in Kempton, Pennsylvania right now at our spring cleaning tag sale. Dollars being exchanged. We've got a whole bunch of items in the apartment out in Kempton, Pennsylvania that are getting bids, starting with a porcelain tray that dates back to the turn of the century, made in Germany. It has an appraised value of $125 to $150. And at our spring cleaning tag sale out in Kempton, Pennsylvania, you saw the corn husker, also referred to as a corn husker cedar. And $150 was the price tag on that. We have a scale with weights, and it was very interesting. Not only do you have the weights, but you do have this scale, very old and lovely, $38, reasonably priced. Next to it is the Victorian vase, which has a price tag of just $20. And we have a kerosene lamp that has been properly wired, and it is priced at $20. And back here in the apartment, we saw the Buddy Owl truck from the 1950s. It is in rough condition, so it's been appraised at $35 to $50, made from heavy pressed steel.
And we have the glass decanter also, and this is late 19th century, made in France. It's, let's see, probably held brandy, and this was appraised at $125 up to $225 on that. We've got the pair of dolls, vinyl faces, rooted hair, sleepy eyes from the 1950s, appraised about $100 for the pair, and as Alan is demonstrating, they are kind of like the Stretch Armstrong feel there.
His girlfriend.
Also in Kempton, Pennsylvania, we have the quilt, if you remember. Now, the quilt was appraised at about $35 with a little bit of restoration on that. It's worth about $300, but right now in its current condition, $35. We also have the computer, and the computer was appraised, along with all the accessories, was praised at $65 for that right there. So
lots of items getting bids, and not too late to join the bidding process. Here's what you do. You call us at 212-802-0082. Well, you know what, John, as you're into a tag sale, there's always going to be some items that are not selling. What do you do? Let's go back out to Kempton, Pennsylvania and find out.
Well, Claire, a lot of things are selling, but obviously it's rare that everything goes, and you have to figure out what to do with the leftovers. So, Susie, what's interesting, she has a lot of books here, and a lot of times books are left over as well, right?
Well, in most areas, what I would do is box them up and leave them at different senior centers for them to read. Anne has a nice situation here because she has a store that will give her credit for half of the price of the books towards future purchases.
And Anne is an avid reader. She's read every one of these books at least once, and you can see she has them priced for 50 cents for a hardcover, a quarter a piece for the paperback. So either drop them off at senior centers or go to a book trader.
Exactly.
What about clothes?
Good question. Usually I donate them to Goodwill, Salvation Army. If they're top of the line, sometimes I will take them for the client to a consignment shop. So somewhere down the line, they're going to get a return on them. But that's how you dispose of those kind of items. And I know she's going to donate to a shelter, a women's shelter here.
So you've already thought this through, and you know that whatever you have left that's usable for the shelter, they're going to get.
Yes, yes, because
Okay.
nothing can come back in the house.
Certainly not in that attic. Tell me about furniture, Susie, because she has some pieces and they might not move.
Well, good things like the corn sheller, things like that, we will consign that to an auction or a dealer, consignment dealer. But it'll have a place to go, and other things can go to a used furniture store.
That's great. Okay, so that's Those are some tips from Ann and Susie on what to do with the leftovers, John and Claire.
Good luck in selling those leftovers.
JD, I can't help myself. I saw one more thing I really like I wanted to ask you about.
What is it?
Well, if you go towards where the scale is, in the very back, there's some baskets. Against the wall, very back. There's some baskets back there. Right behind. There they are.
Oh, there they are.
Are those for sale?
Are these for no, they're for use here.
Oh,
this is a vegetable stand, but John, look over here. These are for sale. Here on the other side.
All right. Well,
but not those. They're still working.
Yeah, good baskets are hard to find. Thanks, JD. We'll see you a little bit later.
Okay.
I like those decorative baskets.
Yeah.
Let's turn to our mailbag, and we have a letter that was written by Linda from North Bend, Oregon, who writes to us, I have sent pictures of an item that looks like a pair of shoes. They were thought to be taken from the tar pits in California.
Yeah.
The metal looks like copper and brass and is not magnetized. The shoe measures 11.5 inches long and about 2.5 inches across. No markings. I have no idea what they were used for.
I have no idea either.
There's tar pits in California.
They're spurs. Well, they're spurs. What in heaven's name they were doing in the tar pits in California, I have no idea. And whether they're old or not, it's almost impossible to tell without having them right here in front of us, unfortunately.
Is there any way to put appraised value on it?
Don't look at me.
That's very, very difficult without having them here. These were reproduced over a long period of time.
So these could be reproductions.
Yeah, they could be.
So these need to be checked out further.
But the story's worth at least $50 to me.
Linda, thank you so much for your letter.
And now on the phone from Rochester, Minnesota, Charles has joined us. Hi, Charles. How you doing?
Oh, pretty good. I'm enjoying your tag sale.
Thank you very much. What would you like to have appraised today?
I sent an elephant that it was a cigarette roller. In fact, I can remember when I was a kid, my father used to roll his cigarettes ahead of time. He'd buy this Target tobacco special for it, and roll his cigarettes for the next day.
All right. Well, Charles, let me tell the appraisers here. It measures 8 3/4 inches long, 5 3/4 inches high, 4 inches wide, and it weighs 4 pounds. What do you think?
I think it's a nice die-cast piece, probably 30s or so. That's when these were pretty popular then. Looks like a little bit of rusting. It's really hard sometimes to avoid that on some of these die-cast pieces. Probably today's market value, about $75.
I'm wondering if it is a cigarette dispenser rather than a roller.
I have seen them as dispensers, too.
Yeah.
I do want to point
It's
that
very
out.
difficult to tell without looking at it right here in front of us again. I'm going to place a value of $250 to $300.
Oh, up to $300. Charles, did you want to take bids on that, or you want to hold on to it?
No, I think I'm going to keep it.
All right. Thanks for being on the phone. We appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
But John, when we come back, not only the big bits today, but how much have they sold at the spring cleaning sale so far? Stay with us.
Yeah, I love it. All right, welcome back to Personal FX, the collectible show. It is time now to get involved in these big bids. So to do that, let's go out to the tag sale in Kempton. And JD, I'm going to go right down the line with you and Ann here, and I'm just going to tell you exactly the bids that we got on some of these items. You ready, Ann?
Okay, we hear there are a lot.
All right, here we go. For the Cornhusker, Jim from California offered you $211.
So.
All right. For the scale, Dolores from South Carolina offered you $130.50.
So.
So it is. For the kerosene lamp, Jack from New York called in with an offer of $40.
So.
All right. With the Victorian vase, Alice from California called in with an offer of $50.
No.
No, all right. Deborah from California wants the quilt for $76.50. So it is. And finally, Carol from Florida wants that computer for $100.
So.
All right. Nicely done. Nicely
That's
done.
a lot of good selling action. And here in the apartment, Norma Jean, for your tray, we have an offer from Michelle from Livermore, California for $175.
Let me think about it.
Please do. Michael, for your truck, Dean from St. Cloud, Minnesota would like it for $56.
Oh.
Anna, for your decanter, Virginia from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania is offering $100.
No, I don't think so.
And Bernadine, for your dolls, Marianne from Plymouth, Massachusetts would like them for $125. Jean, for your chocolate set, Ray from Sedalia, Michigan is offering $50.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No, all right.
No way.
Let's check in one more time with JD and the gang out there and get a grand total so far for the tag sale. JD?
Hey, we want to thank everyone. Ann Fenstermacher, her husband John, is doing the tallying. What are we up to, John?
We were at $500 until before the bids. Now we're at about $800.
Wow, and there are 2 more days left for the sale. Right. We want to also not only thank Ann, but Susie Anderson for coming out and helping us out.
No problem.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Thank you all. JD, nice job. Thanks, buddy.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll thank the wind machine as well.
That's right, the wind machine.
I want to thank our appraisers in the apartment, Alan Schremm, and as well as Pat Thanks to all of you here in the apartment. Have a great weekend.
Hold on. Io Haynes on the road Monday. What are you doing?
I am going to Indiana. We're with a collecting couple. He collects Burger Chef memorabilia. She collects bowling memorabilia. And Wednesday we're going to be with David Letterman's mom.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, yeah. Now, as Claire was mentioning, that's our show. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Monday.